Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
And welcome back, everyone. It has been said that if you really want to move your life forward, you need to include this thing called spirituality. What does that mean? A lot of people connect it to religion. It can be if you want it to be, but not necessarily. We're going to learn more about that. Lots more to talk about today. And we're going to start with somebody who has been with us a number of times in the past. She is a doctor of naturopathy, certified body talk trainer, and practitioner. She's also a certified nutritional counselor, master herbalist, and she's very spiritual. Dr. Jacquilen Thomas Ali joins us once again. How are you doing?
Hi, Steve. How are you? I am fantabulous. How are you doing?
Very well, very well. Looking forward to
Great.
talking with you and somebody you brought to the party. Who do we have?
Yes, I'd like to introduce to you Chaplain Jan Collins. And she will share with you what resonates in her heart. And feel free to ask questions, take things to the level that works for you, because she's opened in that way where she can work with and talk with many different people from different backgrounds and so forth.
Jan, welcome. How are you?
Thank you so much. I'm doing very well, thank you.
you're
Appreciate the opportunity to be here, and thank you, Jacqueline. I hope I live up to that.
Lots to
sure.
learn. Before we even get going here, Jan, how are you connected with Dr. Jackie?
Crossed her through some other person as a body talk practitioner.
Oh, okay. Wonderful.
And it's just been wonderful assistance in my life. So,
And your life includes emotional and spiritual support for people going through challenges. You offer strength and direction. And I want to get right to where we started here today, this thing called spirituality. How do you define it?
well, as you said, it's tough to define. To me, it's more something you try to get the essence of. I don't know, you can put it into words. Um, to me, it's like that intangible energy, intangible force in us, kind of like what I call, our spirit, our passion. What is it that keeps us going every day? Like my spirit keeps me going, regardless of what's going on. I find a way to keep going. So I often see that as being connected to like what we love, like our passion. So it could be a person, like a spouse or a partner, could be family, it could be a cause, could be your occupation. You really love doing architecture or singing or something like that. So to me, you're connecting with your spirit when you're doing that, your essence, what it is that really keeps you going and pushes you forward.
Do you find that when somebody realizes what this is and taps into their own spirituality, that they've actually tapped into themselves, kind of maybe better figured out who they are?
Absolutely. To me, it's connecting with our inner center, our core. For some people, they call it, center, core, soul, whatever way you want to define it. And I think that's getting to our essence. And again, that's one of those nebulous words, but for me, I know when I connect with it, I know. It's like I can't really describe it, but when I feel that sense of really oneness with myself, like I'm not pulled in different directions and things, then I know I've gotten to whatever it is that just makes me me, and I just can be that.
How do you do it? You said when you connect. So are there moments where you're more spiritual, like you're actually tapped into what's inside?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Also, I didn't state this at the beginning, but I don't present information as the right way or the best way. This is basically from my experience, my learning and so forth. So I just put it out in case it's helpful to people.
Gotcha.
Well, one of the things I distinguish between is difference between religion and spirituality. To me, religion is more a set of beliefs, like there's certain denominational religions that tend to have set of beliefs that might differ from each other. And to me, spirituality more comes from the experience. With beliefs, you're relying on somebody else's information. But with experience, once you experience something, it's yours. You can say firsthand, I know about that. So there's a difference. And if I could share a story how I came to that.
I would love it.
Okay. So grew up in a conventional religion, had a lot of standard beliefs, got to college, decided that was all kids stuff, like kind of fantasy things. So I spent about 30 years in agnosticism, which really for me was, I don't know if there's a God or not, but I really don't see it. Doesn't make any sense to me. And then somewhere around probably the 1990s, I started feeling like a pull towards something spiritual. I didn't know what it was. So I started going to some different churches, trying different ones out to see if anything I heard connected with me or resonated or whatever. And I didn't. And then one day, somebody I just recently met said, you don't have to believe or disbelieve anything. All you have to do is be open to the possibility there's a loving presence waiting to minister to you. And that was like, wow, I never heard anything like that. So sometime after that, when I worked up my courage, because this was kind of scary to me, I sat down and I said, okay, if there's anything or anybody out there I'd like to know and I could use some help. And I wasn't trying to challenge whatever. It was like, I really would like to know. So within a couple of weeks, things just started happening. And I don't want to say what they are because I don't want to influence anybody, but I knew something was going on.
Positive change.
I don't know if I'd call it change, experience.
Okay.
More experience. I just knew things were happening around me. It's like, like I said, don't want to be specific because I don't want to put any ideas in people's heads. And I've talked to people since then that had similar experiences. So for me, it was like, I know there's something here. There is a spiritual essence. It's not all fairy tale because I experienced it. It doesn't matter what anybody else tells me now because now I know. And that's what I have followed since then.
Wow.
It's like I think everybody has to find their own path in order to explore it and to express it. And for me, like love is the bottom core of it. So that kind of gets me to my belief that love is inherent in us.
Yeah, well, they say it's the highest vibration. Love is the answer. And isn't it in the Bible? Not going religious here. I'm just stating a fact that it says, ask and you shall receive, something along those words. And you did. And you did. You asked and you got.
Yeah.
Do you remember that moment?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But it's
You
interesting. You
connected.
said ask and you shall receive. And this was like a great experience last night. There's a struggling with some difficulty going on in the outer world. And I'm like, okay, how am I going to handle this? I don't know how to handle this. So I tuned into, there's like a program spiritually oriented, and I put a question in, how do I handle this? I need some guidance. Half hour, come out of the program. I just started hearing this thing inside, and it just, yeah, that's good. That's it. That's it. It was like, I just got instant answer. It was like,
I'm a big believer in asking and getting.
mhm.
And I haven't, I've done what you've done. I haven't felt that presence thus far. Maybe I haven't even realized it. And then there are some that will say there are spirit guides around us and ask for them to reveal themselves and, call them angels, whatever you want to call them, that they're there to pilot us, help us along the way, give us direction. Kind of sounds like what you did. Like do you believe And you're at that moment that was a God, or that was God that was presenting to you?
I can't really define it.
Okay.
I mean, I knew there was something.
Undeniable.
Yeah, that it was undeniable.
Wow. You support people through very difficult times as a chaplain, correct?
Correct. And counselor.
And counselor.
Mhm.
Where did you pivot in that direction? Where did it come to you that, yeah, this is what I'm going to do?
Um, umpteen years ago, when I was going through some difficulties of my own, went to see my chiropractor, and he said, whatever you're dealing with, see it come out good. Don't worry about it. Don't angst about it. Just see it coming out good. It's much easier on your body that way. And that was the first time I had anybody tell me that what I thought and what I felt affected my body. And then a little while after that, I was taking a walk. There was a beautiful sunset. It was like all this beauty was around me, and I could just feel my body and my spirit expanding. It was very expansive, and my body felt so relaxed. And all that got me to the sense of, um, to me, the body is telling me that love is inherent, because if you remember how you feel like when you feel loving, towards a spouse or a puppy or something, and I usually tell people, focus on that for like half a minute. Just put them in your vision, and often the body starts feeling relaxed or warm or soft. And if you think what you feel like when you're angry or worried or upset, the body's tight, you get stomach acid, might get a headache. So to me, the body is saying, stay out of that negative stuff as much as you can, because the positive stuff is what we like, which to me is like, positive, which is bottom line to me is loving. So from that, I just got to the whole sense of, medical research to me confirms that when it says um, positive feelings produce endorphins in the body, negative feelings over time can produce stress hormones. So all that just kind of made sense to me. And then that kind of took me into the spiritual area too, that love is inherent, love is my nature. If I'm connecting with love, I'm connecting with the essence. To me, there's a divine source, and a divine source is loving. So that connects me with that. So for me, it all fell together. And when people are going through difficult times, they often have a shield or filter in front of them that they can't see, that they can't see their own strength. They feel so pulled by everything out there, but they can get to their inner strength where no matter what goes on, they can keep much more balanced. And that's really connecting with their inner strength, their own love for themselves. Like, I'm a good person. I'm okay. I belong here. I deserve being valued. And it's coming from that, as opposed to, I never do anything right, or I'm really stupid. That really saps our strength. So,
A
to
lot
me,
of
it all
fundamental
hangs
things you're
together.
identifying here, Jan. And, it's been said, you got to love yourself. So many of us don't know how to do it. Can't even go in front of a mirror and say, I love you. It just, I've heard people cry that they just can't say those words. And I want to go back to what you said a moment ago about the positive feeling. I've heard it referred to as the 17-second rule, where think of an event in your life. Could be that time you went on vacation, you're lying on the beach, you're, I don't know, in the Caribbean, Bahamas, whatever it might be. And just that feelings like, oh, wow, there's no worries in the world, just feels so good. Reflect back on that, hold that thought for 17 seconds. And that in time will just manifest within you that positive feeling. Almost like it grows. You're planting that 17-second seed. Um, it's amazing. Jan brings us everything we need to know in a couple of minutes here.
Yeah.
Dr.
Yeah.
Jackie, you've worked with her within Body Talk. Is that right?
For three,
Uh,
4 years, I think now.
I guess because I don't keep track of I let the client follow through on that. One thing, though, I'd like to just comment on in terms of self-love, many times people believe that they have to fulfill certain criteria in order to be worthy of love in general, as well as love in particular of themselves, loving themselves. And one of the affirming statements that I share with clients if it comes up is an affirming statement involving unconditional love. That we all have areas where we need work, and it doesn't mean that we need to have certain conditions in order to be worthy of love, whether it's love from someone else or initially loving ourselves. But it's a matter of recognizing that we are worthy unconditional love, and that we are in an ongoing process of growing, developing, and elevating our our being.
Is it true that love is the ultimate? That, the highest vibration, that's what we should strive for?
That's what I believe, yes.
What do you think, Jan?
Absolutely. To me, that's where we connect with our inner core. But I just
Yeah.
wanted to add one example about the unconditional love that maybe people could relate to. Um, Conditional love is I'll love myself after I lose 10 pounds.
Mm,
Yeah.
Unconditional love is I'll love myself through the process, and whether or not I lose the 10 pounds, I still love myself.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I once, it was like a year ago, but it was a wake up for me. So many of us will look in the mirror and we'll be like, oh, what is that? When did that pop up there? What's going on over there? I do it myself. And then once I was at the gym and they have, the large mirrors. And when I looked at the total sum, if you will, I was like, oh, you're not that bad after all. You're actually pretty good person there. Instead of
Uh-huh.
focusing on
Pretty
one thing,
handsome, huh?
I don't know about that, but just looking at, the whole us, everything we have to offer, inside,
Mhm.
outside, all of us, but we don't, right? We focus on one thing and we get stuck on that one thing or two or whatever it might be.
When you talk about the mirror, that's one of my kind of a litmus test for people is when you look in the mirror, what do you say to yourself?
Yeah.
And if you say you're old, you're fat, you're ugly, pay attention to how you feel inside.
Mm.
It's like, what are you doing and what does it do to you? And then try to change it to something positive, like, I like your smile, or thank you for taking the trash out last night. Say something positive. I appreciate you. See how that feels inside. And my
Yes.
guess is you'll see a difference.
Mm.
So if most of the day you're criticizing yourself and you feel down, one of the reasons is that you're criticizing yourself and putting yourself down.
Yes.
It's really
Mm.
pay attention to
Sure.
that.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
we talk about body talk, and that is, and if you want to know precisely what that is, look back at some podcasts that Dr. Jackie and I have done. Your body is telling you things. It doesn't lie. The reverse of that is you're telling your body things, i.e., I'm
Yes.
fat, I'm this, I'm that. Now your body's going to react to it, whether you think it is or not. It is, it, in many different ways. And if you keep telling yourself that, oh, I feel horrible, I'm sick, I'm always tired, I'm this, I'm that, I'm like, your body's going to say, "Oh yeah, we are. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to give you more of that. Let's keep you sick. Let's keep you, in stress. Let's do all of that." Um,
Yes.
the chaplain side
You're
of you,
creating that for
you're
yourself.
creating that, right? Just like what our parents used to say: "Be careful what you ask for." It's exactly true. You're gonna get it. That's how it works. Your body's
Oh.
always listening to you. So, as a chaplain, you've had to deal with some challenging situations involving others. How do you find that strength when you can be overcome
Ooh.
by grief or whatever it might be? Where do you find it to support somebody else?
Good
Um,
question, Steve.
yeah.
Wow.
So I just say I'm here for a purpose. I see this person going through a great difficulty. I see life as kind of learning experiences that we sometimes put ourselves into by our choices. And then they give us an opportunity to learn things. Um, and trusting that there's a highest good going on, that there's a friend of mine years ago was diagnosed with breast cancer, and she had to go through all the chemo and everything, and she was starting to get, all going through all the angst and stuff, and then she caught herself, and said she's in the chemotherapy room, and she started meeting a lot of people there because they would see each other often, and she started developing relationships. She started coming out of herself, being kind of a leader. She ended up being interviewed by National News Magazine because of her approach to cancer. So, and the cancer did get cured or remission, cure, whatever it was. And she said, I came out of this a much better person. Like it was really hard
Mm.
going through, but
Hmm.
I came out of it. And I've read so many stories that people have gone through. Like I know of one who's a quadriplegic. He was a psychologist in this area, and he has on his website, if it took this for me to get to where I am now with my self-knowledge, it was worth it.
Wow.
Because he said where
Yes.
he was before that was like a car accident. He said he knew, no self-awareness, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, how can I help this person deal with the feelings because they're difficult, um, and see how can this help them while they're working through the difficult part, is not to see it all as horrible. Is like, okay, what is this bringing to you that it can lift you, that you can learn, that you can expand? It might be pushing you in a different direction. Like people going through a tough divorce sometimes come out of it with much more sense of like individual independence.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
they've broken an
Right.
unhealthy connection. So
Hmm.
it's hard going through it, but you can make it be something that you can utilize,
Yeah.
that can strengthen you.
There you go.
Hmm.
I was just going to say that word. It makes you stronger
Hmm.
because every time you go through something, you realize, oh, I pull that one off. Oh, that one over there. Um, what about that time? And then when something presents, instead of looking at it as a mountain, now it's just speed bump, going over the speed bump, onto the next one. Uh,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
and the recovery time, if you will, is so much shorter. Whereby in the beginning, when you don't have that resilience, you look at those challenges and you're like, oh God, I don't know how I got through that. Now it's like, well, easy peasy, all good, moving forward. I know in
And the way
myself,
the way we perceive things, like I said,
yes.
this is horrible. I'll never get through it. And I'm
I'm
programming
a
myself.
I'm a bad person and yeah, all
Hmm.
that.
Unforgivable. Let me just throw that in for God. A lot of people think they're unforgivable for things. And let me just say my experience, that's not true.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And one other thing, we're out of time, but maybe for another time, your gut, your intuition, because once I feel you have that resilience and you got through that and that over there, the next one that comes up, you listen to within, whatever, maybe that's your spirituality too, telling you, no, don't worry about that. You're worrying about it, it's all going to be good. I had some health scares, if you will, in the last couple of months. Diagnosis, I'm fine now. Grateful, blessed, all good. Told me
Good.
certain things, and I was like, I'll be honest with you. Um, 2.5 months ago, I was told I have stage 3 cancer. And for a moment there, I was like, what? But my intuition said, this doesn't seem right. Further testing. I won't even get into the divine intervention, if you will, of how this all came about. And it was wrong. And it was fine, all good. Not- Done.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But there was a moment there. It was like, and I still remember it. Where I was standing when I was on the phone. I'm like, Oh, okay. All right. This is going to be a little bit of a challenge we got coming our way. But then part of me said, that doesn't seem reasonable. And
Mm-hmm.
further testing PET scan, it was, but I did run into a doctor who told me, you're good. Don't even worry about it. He didn't even do a test. He just said, you're good. He's the same one that operated on my mother for the same exact thing.
Wow.
He showed up when he should have. A whole story there, not even worth getting into, but it's having that faith and maybe the spiritualism. Wonderful talking with both of you, Jan. If somebody wants to connect with you, how do they do that?
Oh, my website is the https://
Oh, leave that all out. What's your website?
janschaplaincy.com.
What is it?
Janschaplaincy.com. JANS chaplaincy.com.
Gotcha. And Dr. Jackie, how do we find you?
Um, uh, 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 uh,
Earthly Essence or no?
Earthly Essence, dot life, LIFE, Earthly Essence dot life.
Beautiful talking with both of you. Thank you for your
Yes.
insight.
I had to do a little something there. Okay, go ahead.
Appreciate it all. Appreciate it all.
Sure enough.
And a lot of fuel to move forward with, I believe, with what we talked about today. And I appreciate it. Thank you both.
Yes.
Thank you
Yes.
very much,
Thank
Steve
you.
and Jacqueline.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. You're welcome. Thanks so much, Steve.
Thank you.
Really, truly appreciate you.
Likewise.
Sure.
Likewise. We'll talk soon. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.